today. Welcome back to our Marketing Minute podcast. I'm here with Katelyn again.
Hello, everyone. You get another feature from the lovely Katelyn this week, along with Joleen. We have a new topic for you guys. Joleen, what is the topic this week?
Today we're going to be talking about ads budgets.
Ooh, this can vary a lot. Some people may think, oh, I'm a business owner. I need to spend this certain amount on this platform and this platform only, or I need to spend on every single platform, which is not the case. Depending on what industry you're in and what your business is entirely how you should frame your budget. So
yeah, exactly. So one thing that you really want to think about first is what campaign objective you're trying to aim for. So if you want more calls, emails, leads, you're going to do a lead generation campaign, obviously. And that's how you'll pick your budget. If you're doing a brand awareness campaign, that's a little more fluctuated. And then if you're kind of doing what we call a boosting budget, which a lot of business owners are kind of falling into that category recently, where they just go through and boost a really popular post or one that performed really well on their profile with a few $10, maybe $15. So those are a bunch of different campaigns. But you also have to think about what results you want to get out of those objectives so you know what budget you need to use.
Right. Especially with leads, I think budgets can vary very differently, like you said, with different campaigns. Leads type of budget are always going to be more just because you're trying to convert actual people. Brand awareness, if you're just trying to promote your page or get your name out there, it obviously can vary based on that. And I definitely want to add with I think there is a stigma around ads budgets that can be scary because you're just putting money into a platform and you're like, I don't know what this money's going to get me. Am I just throwing money at the wall?
I think a common question we always get is like, okay, so how many leads can I get for $100?
Exactly.
It doesn't really work like that.
No. And I think a lot of people, starting out, I say, we notice a lot of clients do the boosting because you're getting your feet wet. You're saying, okay, this posted well. Let me put a little money behind it. Maybe if I do better, I can increase the budget. And that's always a great option.
I think they get comfortable with that because it's the easiest to set up too on the back end. The business manager can be a scary, scary place.
Oh, yes. I know that very well. I will say when I first started here and we saw the business manager for all our ad campaigns, I was overwhelmed. It's very scary. So I can't even imagine for just a business owner who maybe doesn't even know about
targeting,
ads or
any of that. They get into the business back end and they're like, what is a business suite in Facebook?
Yep. What's an ad? What's a campaign? What's an ad set? It can all be very overwhelming, guys. So don't be afraid of it. But
let's dive a little more into each platform and what budget we should use. So if I want to run an ad on LinkedIn, what kind of parameters do I at least need to have in my budget?
Yes. So this is a great thing that we are discussing because obviously every business is not going to promote on every platform. If I'm let's say like a product and I don't necessarily think my target audience is on LinkedIn, I think Facebook, Instagram, TikTok may be better options because LinkedIn, I will say, LinkedIn's $10 a day to start promoting on LinkedIn. So if that's where your target audience is, great, but you should be putting the majority of your budget onto LinkedIn.
Yeah.
If my target audience is on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, I should be putting my budget there, and you kind of gauge your budget to which platform you're promoting on as well. If you, let's say LinkedIn, you're like, oh, maybe I should promote on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is one of the more expensive platforms, so definitely if LinkedIn is something you are going to do, you have to think about putting more money onto that just because of the spending budgets.
The good thing about LinkedIn is it is more costly per day, but you do get the most amount of impressions and reach compared to any other platform. They also have really amazing targeting in LinkedIn where you can narrow down by job title, job description. So if you're looking to talk to, for us, we're looking for our paid ads and we want to talk to business owners, CEOs, CFOs, entrepreneurs, we can hit all of those people that have that listed as business owners on LinkedIn. It's amazing for B2B.
Yes.
So that's always a great thing about LinkedIn. It is a little more costly, so you'll have to put more money behind, but the results are usually a bit more tangible.
Yes, I definitely recommend LinkedIn for B2B business because that's usually where more business professional people are going to be. Facebook, Instagram are probably the most cost-effective platforms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Facebook is definitely the most cost-effective because it's actually only $1 a day to advertise. We just said LinkedIn's $10 a day, so that's a good thing for us. You can stretch your dollars. It's also really cool because if your Facebook and your LinkedIn, or Facebook and LinkedIn, blur that out, if your Facebook and Instagram are connected and you boost a post or you run an ad, it'll go on both platforms and you'll see the engagement grow on both of your accounts.
Yes, that's a great thing too, is I don't know how many people know this, but Facebook is a part of Instagram, or Facebook owns Instagram, so whatever you promote on Facebook is going to be on Instagram, which is a great tool because you're getting 2 for 1.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, like we said earlier, when you're a business owner and you're first starting out, and putting an ads budget behind a campaign can be a little bit scary, and you just kind of want to, test out the waters a little bit. Facebook and Instagram is great for that because of their cost-effective $1 a day. That's pretty good for starting out. So.
And that's the minimum, so
right.
You can go up, down, however you want to go from there.
Yes.
What's next? Pinterest is great to advertise on, but one thing we've learned, it can be a little costly like LinkedIn.
Yeah.
It's really good for certain products though. We've gotten away with doing some like kratom and some CBD. It is very, very tricky. Mm-hmm. We all know the games with CBD and kratom marketing.
Yes. If you are in those industries, you definitely have to think about that. It can get a little tricky promoting some special industries like we talked about. So you just have to look into your own different options for those types
Another
of things.
option that we recently discovered and have been utilizing in our organization is Traffic Junkie. Mm-hmm. Everybody's like, what is Traffic Junkie? So
even I was like, what is Traffic Junkie? Joleen, what is Traffic Junkie?
So Traffic Junkie is paid ads that you see on adult websites. But the benefit for us is, once again, you can use it for CBD marketing. They're really cool with kratom. They're good for like vape shops and smoke shops. So it really all also depends where your target audience is. We had a couple clients where that's exactly where they wanted to hit. They wanted their ads to be displayed, and we looked into it, and it's worked great for those certain industries that we struggle to find platforms that will not reject our ads.
Yeah, that is something we can struggle with, or even you can struggle with sometimes, is Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn. They'll just deny your ads for no reason. Mm-hmm. And you kind of just have to work around Facebook and work with them, because sometimes that can get frustrating. They do it for no reason sometimes, but it's all right. It happens to everyone. So don't be afraid, or don't get scared, don't get upset. It's okay. It happens all the time to people. So
what about TikTok? Is TikTok for my business? Should I be running ads on TikTok?
That is a great question, Joleen. I definitely think TikTok is probably one of the most up and coming social platforms. Well, it already has been coming, but it is one of the biggest.
She's here.
She's here.
She's taking over.
TikTok is probably one of the biggest platforms right now, especially to advertise on. With influencer marketing being so big, TikTok is a great avenue for that. But you want to also remember that not every business should be promoting on TikTok. Yeah. If your target audience is not going to be on TikTok, then you're really just throwing money at people who don't really care about your service or your product or your brand.
Yeah.
So it definitely depends. But TikTok is also another great platform for promoting.
Yeah. So next we want to talk to you guys a little bit about how much you should gauge your ads budget at compared to your product or service. So we have a couple clients that will come to us and they want to spend $100 to $150, but to book them it's $700, and then they're wondering why they're not getting 20 million leads from that. I spoke to our bigger clients about this who does screen enclosures, and for him his ads budget's around, I think it's a little over $1,000, but he loves that because his service is minimum of 5 or more, so he's getting his money back and some in 1 or 2 leads. Mm-hmm. So you really have to gauge your budget on how much is it going to cost for your consumer, and then understand what that's going to get you result-wise.
Right. A big thing that a lot of people don't don't think of is your ROI, your return on investment.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you have an expensive product, you have an expensive service. One of my clients, expensive furniture. So let's just say you convert one person, they buy a piece of furniture. That furniture is going to pay for your whole ads budget if you are gauging the correct ads budget. So they started out with a tiny budget that was nowhere near what one piece of furniture costs. But once we kind of talked through that process and told them about the ROI and like you want to gauge it to where your products are, then moving the budget up, it was insane. It was like night and day. The influx of conversions that came in just from moving the ads budget up to more appropriately target his audience, it was insane. It was insane. And you have to think about that when you're doing an ads budget.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen a lot of clients understand that now, and then they're coming around to it. Mm-hmm. You also, when you have that higher budget and you do your targeting appropriately, you have everything set up correctly, and your ads running beautifully and displaying your product or service, you'll notice that you're getting the people you want to get. So quality over quantity. You know, I could give you 100 leads, but 5 of those are actually interested in your $5,000 full screen enclosure.
Yeah.
So you really have to think, you know, if I spend $100 on Facebook, do I really think I'm going to get all these leads and it's going to be good leads?
Right, because the higher budget you have, the better quality targeting is going to be. So if you're just throwing $100 broad targeting at your audience, you're going to get people that are not really a part of your target audience. It's a little more broad. They may not even be looking for a screen enclosure. Mm-hmm. They may have a pool, but they're kind of not even in your target.
Yeah.
It's going to get those people too, just because your budget's not where it should be. And then that creates no long-term success for that client. So.
It's great when you add more money into your budget and you see that ad just go beyond the algorithm in Facebook and it really starts to spread and accumulate and keep going and going. It's kind of like feeding the beast with more money.
Yes.
So absolutely. Doing that, you're like, okay, I'm getting way more return. I'm seeing the results I want to see. Your client's happy. You're happy as a business owner if you're running this ad and you're seeing all those leads coming.
Oh, 100%.
So that's amazing. So we kind of talked about it a little bit ago when we talked about scaling up our ads budget with one of your recent clients. So when do we do that and what does that really look like?
So a lot of clients, I'm always going to refer back to this because I truly believe this is the reason why either a business owner or a client is scared to do it is because of the fear of the unknown. I'm just giving more money, but is it going to get me anything in return?
Very true.
Or are you...
They're like, so what are the results?
So, yeah, they just want to see results, which is 100% correct. You should be getting results. But when you're giving money to a system, Facebook, Instagram, it's kind of scary. Yeah. I totally understand that. It's very scary.
You're trusting a bot to like keep your business growing.
Right. So with that being said, when we want to focus on growing your business, growing as a business owner, expanding your company, we need to be scaling that budget to match that growth.
The good thing about a daily ads budget is it allows you to set a daily spend and it tells Facebook basically don't go over this number every day, which is great because then you can kind of hit into like the third or maybe even the fourth week of the month, maybe even the second week of the month where you're like, I'm not really seeing what I wanted to see results wise. So you can update that daily budget and, you know, add a couple dollars behind it and keep scaling up throughout the month, which is amazing because if you have a $500 budget you want to spend, but you only put like a $7 daily budget, you may only hit like $150 by the second or third week, and then you can tack it on up to 10 and watch it soar.
Right.
So Lifetime's great because you kind of just say like, hey, I have $300 and this is what I want to spend in these scheduled dates.
Yeah, so for lifetime budgets, that's when you leave it up to Facebook to kind of work through its algorithm to put it out to the target audience. So that's a lot of in Facebook's hands when you're doing a lifetime budget. Lifetime budgets are also great if you're trying to stay within a budget because then you can keep it for the month. You know that's the set amount for the month. Or daily, like we spoke about, you can kind of gauge it every single day. Like, oh, is it doing well? Oh, do I need to put a little bit more money into it? So it's good for changing or testing it out for daily budgets.
Yeah.
I will say. So, lifetime and daily budget buttons right next to each other, okay, guys? If you want to do a lifetime budget, let's say lifetime budget of $1,000. Make sure you hit that lifetime budget button, because the daily budget button's right next to it, and that would be bad. If you're only trying to spend
$1,000 a day.
If you're trying to spend $1,000 in a month, but you accidentally do it in a day.
I can't even tell you how many times I have accidentally switched from daily to lifetime, and Facebook will sometimes have their little mind of their own and do it to you.
Yeah, that's another thing too, which that's a good point, Joleen. So sometimes Facebook will automatically reset it to be either daily or lifetime, so you just have to make sure, double check when you are setting up an ad campaign that it is on the correct one.
Yeah, definitely. It can be a slippery slope. Be careful there.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to be spending $1,000 in a day if that's your monthly budget.
Yeah, so I'm glad we kind of talked about what platforms to advertise on, a little bit about how much they cost, where to reach your target audience, daily and lifetime spends. We touched on a little bit of different campaigns. We are going to step into a third episode of this social media series, so you'll have to tune in next Thursday to see what that one's all about.
Ooh, exciting!
And we will see y'all later.
Bye, everyone!
Bye!